Today, my friend, was one of my most productive days in so many respects. I logged a lot of video presentations for your edification, perusal, and review. I spent a lot of time, my friends, a lot of time going through these things and making sure that you were aware of so many things for you to be a part of, to know. I feel, and please don't take this the wrong way, I feel like I'm a teacher. I feel like I have to teach you, that I want to teach you things, because you're not being taught, you're being thrown at. It's like you're walking into a room and nobody's teaching you. Not that you're stupid, not that you're children, not that you need teaching per se, but I feel as though we should spend more time going over what things mean. Does that make sense to you? I think it does. At least it does to me. Today I did a piece with a good friend of mine, Anthony Cumia. He's well-known, has been part of the Opie and Anthony show for years, and he was in Compound Media and doing all this other series. And we talked about so much stuff and so much great things about radio and news, and that was terrific. I did a piece on Maxine Waters and the absolute insanity of this woman, and how she is without any ability whatsoever to even pretend to be rational. She is so demented, so horrible. Her face could stop a train, a clock. It's like homemade soap, like a mud fence. She's a very, very ugly person. Not in looks per se, but just her attitude, her spirit, or lack thereof. I talked about. That's a good question. What else? I talked about another one too, with some other good things too. I've got the Maxine Waters. Oh, geoengineering Maxine Waters. Oh, and Naked Panic. One of the most fascinating stories to me. Naked Panic, of the woman who walked through Dallas-Fort Worth and was naked. Just walk through naked. And this is a subject that a lot of times we can't talk about, because it deals with somebody being naked, and people, of course, want to make jokes. And jokes are fun. Jokes are great, but the jokes really aren't that good. And what I'm trying to tell people is that this is a very, very serious deal. So we're going to be talking about that. Also, please notice this great stuff on X. The Lindell TV network is fantastic. Look at the great shows that they're doing by this wonderful, what is her name? She is so terrific. I wanted to give you an update on this. She's fantastic. Her name is, just a minute. Okay, here, just a minute. Her name is, and she's very, very good. Oh, yes. Her name is Cara Castronuova. She is from Lindell TV. She is fantastic. Real Lindell TV. And one of the things which is very important is that the great Caroline Levitt and the even greater President Trump are allowing, for the first time, brave, new, and alternative, by the way, is better, I think, in some respects, but these wonderful new folks who were never allowed to appear prior to this because they were considered somehow not in the club. So thanks to President Trump and these wonderful people, they're allowed to do this. And these are the great folks from Lindell TV. And speaking of Mike Lindell and Lindell TV, you know he has this pillow company, right? You know, when it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name. And now with MyPillow.com/Lionel, or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in My Pillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, My Pillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that My Pillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why My Pillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, My Pillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. My Pillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. Our good friend Thomas Almy says, ballyhoo, Lionel, trains, choo choo. Funny? Absolutely, without a doubt. Hilarious? Not even off the hilarity chart, ladies and gentlemen. Off the hilarity chart. Thank you so much for this. Now, my friends, where do I start? Where do I begin? Where do I even start to fill you in on what we're talking about today, dear friends? So much to say, so much to show, so much to explain to you, dear friends. First and foremost, as I was saying, I didn't even know where to start, but I'm going to tell you, this one woman who lost her mind, I think she was traveling with an 8-year-old, went into a manic stage, stripped down completely nude, and ran through the Dallas-Fort Worth airport naked. Have you, or any of you in your family, ever had a manic episode? Ever? It's not really the classic manic, but it was almost like because I am so, I've told you, fascinated by the notion of this world of mental health. Have you ever had that? You ever seen that? You ever seen that? Anybody? You ever had that happen to you? You ever seen that? I gotta wait for a second. Triggered by watching Species. Ha ha ha. Anybody ever see somebody? Anybody have a manic depression? You know what manic depression is? You ever seen it? Gracie Loves George says, I've taken care of people in mania. It's something, is it not? Is it not, Gracie? There's nothing like it. Oops. There is absolutely nothing like it. When somebody says, oh, I think so-and-so is bipolar. We use these words sometimes. I think incorrectly. Psychotic, psychosis. We use them incorrectly for a variety of reasons. But mania, we use mania sometimes. No, there's no mania. It's a different story. Mania is different. It is something that is incredible. Look at this. Edie says, yes, unmedicated, I can paint 4 or 5 paintings at a time, sometimes for days. You can go into it for days where you are just, it's incredible. Edward says, my little brother likes streaking, stopped after the 5th birthday. Edward being funny. Thank you, Edward. Edward says, I'm going to be funny here. I'm going to add something to this. I'm going to see this. I'm going to write about my brother. Because even though they're talking very seriously, I'm going to say, oh, no. I got a joke about my brother being 5 years old. And that's what I'm going to do. Thank you, Edward. Thank you. Edward says, oh, forget what we're talking about. Here's a joke. I'm going to probably, my brother who's 5, but that's not what we're talking about. But that's okay. This is very funny. Okay. Thank you, Edward. Thank you. Thank you, Edward. How about a big hand for Edward? Thank you, Edward. Appreciate it. Edward, always terrific, always knows exactly what to do, and hilarious. Ed, I think it's a gift. I think you really have a gift. You might have a little mania right now yourself. It's one of those things that nurture it. Nurture it. Don't ever abuse the power that you have. Mental health, mental illness is so. I am surrounded by people who are frankly fucked up. And there's nothing, they're not in the medical area. They're not locked up yet. They're not that critical, but they are fucked up. I know some people who have behavioral issues. People, you ever notice people who always want to cause problems? Liars. Fucked up. Bohemo says, what exactly is a nervous breakdown? One of the most interesting questions. I wanted to know this as a child because I heard about this. Somebody had, a nervous breakdown. We always use these terms, just like I want to find out what female surgery was. I had an aunt one time who had female surgery. I said, okay, well, there you go with that. She had female surgery. I said, what is it? They go, well, and it fascinated me as a child. You really know what that was, but nervous breakdown. What is a nervous breakdown? Let me throw this one in. This is a very good. This is what ChatGPT or Grok. By the way, ChatGPT and Grok, they're my Google. I don't go to Google anymore. A nervous breakdown, while not a clinical diagnosis, is commonly used to describe a period of intense mental or emotional distress, as is in the case of Edward, with poorly timed and very unfunny jokes, where people become temporarily unable to function in daily life. It involves a sudden collapse in a person's ability to cope with stress, responsibilities, or reality, extreme anxiety, panic attacks, depression, emotional outbursts, paranoia, withdrawal from family, just like a meltdown, so to speak. Funny enough for you, Edward. Got that, Eddie? Got that? Ed's going to come up with a joke about his cousin or something. Because Ed, Ed doesn't mean to destroy the tenor of this, but that's who Ed is. Because I think Ed may have, not hospitalizable, but that's Ed. Ed's a part of our family. Ed, that's Ed. That's Ed. Always with the funny stuff, Ed. Gotta love that Ed. You know what I mean? Just funny. But when you see somebody, imagine that 8-year-old kid with her mother who saw her mother completely nude. Did you see this on X today? Did you see this? Did you see that, Ed? Ed, did you see it, Ed? It was funny. She was running. You could see it on X. You can see it. Maybe you can have somebody, maybe a nurse or an attendant show you. This woman was running. Clearly, it was very, very sad. Very, 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 very sad. And this woman will be forever. By the way, I think it's the second time Dallas Fort Worth. And why is the airport becoming the site for all this? Ed, what do you think about that, Ed? Ed's got a joke about that. I'll bet you anything. Yeah, Ed. Yeah, that's good. Ed. Thanks, Ed. Eddie, I love him, Ed. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it. By the way, that's where the word hysteria comes from, like hysterectomy, female related. Well, the hysteria, this is from the uterus. Liz Solak is correct. It's from the uterus. And the uterus was considered to be the site of this. Hysterectomy, hysterical disorders. Hysteria is from hystera, is from meaning uterus. Ancient Greek physicians, including Hippocrates, believed that a woman's uterus could literally wander around the body. Did you know that? Causing all sorts of symptoms, from anxiety and fainting to irritability, even paralysis. This mythical wandering womb was thought to disrupt the body functions and cause emotional chaos. So when a woman displayed any kind of emotional distress, anxiety, or otherwise behavior, men didn't understand it. They would refer to it as her uterus, and the term hysteria was born as a catch-all. Fast forward to the Victorian era, and hysteria had become the go-to diagnosis for women. By the way, there were all types of sexual frustration references. The so-called cure, sometimes it was institutionalization, hysterectomies, or, believe it or not, even Ed's going to love this one. Somebody hold back, Ed. Doctor-administered pelvic massages, which eventually led to the invention of the vibrator. This is a true story. You got it, Ed, you got that, Ed? Ed's going crazy. It's true, Ed. The vibrator was actually led to the doctor would bring on these types of things. Today, we don't use the word hysteria. It's been replaced by accurate diagnoses like anxiety disorders or PTSD or depression, because the uterus doesn't travel like some kind of a gynecological poltergeist. And so there you go. You got that, Ed? They went to the doctor, and the doctor, you know what I mean, Ed? You got that, Eddie? Okay. All right, Ed. How about a big hand for Ed? Thank you, Ed. Yeah. Next, Ed, what do you think about that? What do you think about that signal thing? Anybody care about that, Eddie? Hey, what do you think about that, huh? What do you think about that? Does anybody care about that? Of course not. Think anybody cares about that? Does anybody seriously care about this? You understand this? I don't know how to tell people this. I don't know how to tell people this, and I don't know how to put it into words. Nobody cares about this. Now they're saying Hegseth was probably drunk. Did you hear about this story? Yeah. They're wondering whether Pete Hegseth was drunk. I'm not serious. And could Pete be a drunk? Might be. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know anything about him. But they're really doubling down. And the reason why they're doubling down is because this is all they have, ladies and gentlemen. This is all they have. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing for these people to even remotely work on. This is the only thing these people have. Raul Rodriguez, by the way, if you think Eddie is good, Raul is the Shecky Green of it. Ed, knock, knock. Who's there? Me. See that? See that? See that? Raul and Ed together. You ever go up to somebody and say, I got a joke. Ask me, knock, knock. You go, knock, knock. Who's there? And then they'll say, Jerry? They don't realize they've been the brunt of the joke. You see how that works? You see how that works? Now, today also, Maxine Waters, who is the most vile and despicable human being probably on the face of the earth, is suggesting that our First Lady, Melania, be deported for reasons I don't understand. I do not understand it in the least. I do not understand how anybody can even suggest that. But this is how demented this woman is. How absolutely, positively demented. I don't understand it. So we have the story with presidents issuing more tariffs. They had 14 terabytes delivered of some good news regarding Epstein. We've got, again, I think the Yemen case. By the way, how many of you dear friends believe that Yemen is important? Anybody? Anybody? Does anybody here believe that Yemen is important? What do you think, Eddie? What do you think about Eddie? About that Ed? But Yemen? It sounds almost like that Jamaican, like that, yeah, man. You know what I mean? Kind of whatever. You think so? Fishman says, Deport Maxine's wig. See, what Fish is saying is Maxine has a bad wig. So he's making the joke that we should deport the wig because it's a bad wig. Got it? You got it? You got it? Pilgrim says, Ed's too messing with anticipation for the attention. He's too messing with anticipation? I think it's already here. Anticipation would mean he is looking forward to the attention, but I submit to you, the attention is already here. So how could he be anticipatory about something that's already here? I don't understand. I don't get that. You see what I'm saying? I don't really think that's it. Okay. Smiling Sue carrying on her own particular conversation, which is always good. Thank you, Sue. Don't know what that's about, but you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm looking at so much of stuff of what you're saying. Finding Dory, by the way, says deport Maxine's wig. She got that. She's a very sad looking woman, isn't Maxine? But still, Maxine is not as linguistically despicable as, of all people, that horrid, that beyond despicable Jasmine Crockett. Dear God. They're good. Gloria Hanley says, they are messing with our shipping lanes. That's kind of what I heard about. My head is exploding with all this banter. Do you know why they are messing with our shipping lanes? Do you know why? You know why? Anybody? Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou. We appreciate that. Do you know why they are messing with our shipping lanes? Anybody? Anybody have any idea? Why do you think they're messing with our shipping lanes? Anybody? This is a very good point. Because why are they messing with our shipping lanes? Anybody? Anybody? Here's something. Edwin Jones. Maxine should walk backwards when approaching others. Okay. Why are they messing with our shipping? I'm gonna get to this. Scott says because they can. Come on, Scott. Work with me, Scotty. Come on. Okay. They're saying, Kimmy says they are trying to allow supplies into Gaza. Not close. There is a blockade for Gaza. There's no, you can't Israel, you can't get anything in there. That's one of the problems with this. Why do you think so? Scott says Maxine looks like a prune. Get it? Thank you, Scott. Scott says she looks like a prune because a prune is, kind of shriveled and that's good. That's good. I like that. Anybody know why it's like a blockade? Well, it is kind of a blockade. Wait a minute. Hold it. Trying to stop the starvation of Gazans? Wait a minute. I think you're onto something. They are doing it in retaliation. They are very, very, very angry, Kimmy, very angry as to what's going on. And they're saying anybody who is either Israel, I think American, or anybody who's a part of the of this treatment of the Gazans will be themselves suffering from this. That's precisely what's going on. Absolutely. They are telling you, if you do not stop this, we're not going to let anything in. Brad wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Brad says today, Kenny Chesney's 57. Jennifer Gray is 65. Marcus Allen, 65. Lisa Gibbons, 68. Martin Short, 75. Vicki Lawrence, the night the lights went on in Georgia, 76. Stephen Tyler, 77. Diana Ross, 81. Bob Woodward, that rat Intel spook bastard, is 82. Nancy Pelosi, 85. Thank you so much. These are all my friends. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Brad Wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I like this. Scott says, because they are doing the bidding of Iran. Nah, that's Fox News. Why do you think what is Iran's beef? What is Iran's beef, Scott? Come on, work with me. What is it? What is Iran? What is Iran? What are they upset with? What do you think? Anybody? What do you think Iran's upset about? You think Iran just says, oh, we're just going to go out and we're just going to terrorize people? Remember when, was it that they went after was it the Syrian capital? Was it the Iranian, is it the Iranian embassy in Syria or Syrian? I don't know. Why do you think they're doing that? Energy, I like Gloria's asking questions. Iran is basically saying, we've got a real problem with Israel. And Israel says, we're blaming everything on you. And and Iran so far has said, we haven't done really anything at all. Do you think Iran has the ability to fight back? Oh, I'll tell you the ones who really, really have, I hope they never fight back, is Hezbollah in Lebanon. Those are the guys. Fred Haddad says, the Yemenis are willing to live or die for integrity. Fred, you're absolutely, their integrity. They will tell you exactly that. If I was a president, we would say immediately, we're stopping all this stuff. Israel, sorry. Iran, then no more. We're done with that. Ukraine, we're done. We're done. Figure this out yourselves. Thank you. We're not going to be a part of this anymore. Not going to be a part of this. Sorry. Use that money here. Work it out. Work it out. We're done with that. We're not going to drop any more 2,000-pound bombs. Did you hear Tammy Bruce? Tammy Bruce, bless her heart. Look, I love this president. You know that. But when it comes to foreign affairs, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They really don't. Marco Rubio. How about Waltz? Jesus, God. They're looking at us like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. I have a problem. I've got a real problem with that. But the thing is that, look, if that's what the president is hell bent on doing, I can't help that. Because as even Eddie Arruda will say that, one of the problems, as Eddie Arruda will tell you, that I'm not going to back away from the president. I'm not. So whatever he's doing, even though I may disagree with it, see, I don't see things anymore as good, evil, black, white, this and that. If I have to put it this way, if I have to, Scott Ritter, by the way, Scott H says it. Scott Ritter knows what he's talking about. I agree 100%. I love it. Fred says, I love her, but I can't watch her turn herself inside out. You mean Tammy Bruce? Yeah, she doesn't. They said, and there are these very smart people talking about the horrors that are going on. She says, well, all they've got Hamas to blame. I said, are you doing this again? Are you blaming Hamas? Oh, yeah, it's Hamas. Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's Hamas. It's their fault. You're never going to have anything like this. It's the most incredible thing in the world. And remember, if you bring up the question, if you dare say, I don't really see it that way, they're going to call you anti-Semitic and all this other kind of stuff. And sometimes it's frankly not worth it. It's just not worth it. Because nobody's paying me to be the diplomat. I'm not going to get myself worked up over this. I've already said it 1,000,000 times. And I feel like asking folks like Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate and Scott Ritter and others, I feel like asking them and Mearsheimer, I say, have they listened to you yet? Is there anything you're doing? Nothing. They're not listening. So what am I going to do? Reverend Dr. KNA said, Representative Crockett ridicules the disabled in the attack on Texas governor. To her credit, the racist clown did not call for violence against him. That's actually very good. See, Eddie? See, that's funny. That was actually very, very good. There we go. Hillbilly says, Lionel, you are no expert in world affairs. No, but Eddie Arruda is. So what are you going to do? That's always good. Well, you're no expert in that. Thank you very much. Hey, what about that? Well, you're no expert in what's pizza. Okay. You really know how to fight back. Hillbilly, you're good. Let me tell you something. You are good. You must have sat back and said, I'm going to sit back. And I'm going to get him with one that is so good. He won't know what wait, I got it. You are no expert. Ouch, man. Got that one out. Ooh. You go right for the heart, and I respect you for that. A lot of people may think that's cheesy. I don't. I thought that was terrific. Thank you. You really put me in my place. And I'm paralyzed by it. I don't mind telling you, I am paralyzed by virtue of what you said. You're incredible. Not only is it stinging, but it covers everything. It's almost as good as, oh yeah? Look at this. Claudia says, my older brother would respond like that to me when I was 8. You're no expert. I would say, duh, I'm 8. I know. Oh yeah? What do you know? Oh yeah? What's it to you, bub? Oh yeah? Well, F you. That's a good one. See, this is good. Hillbilly, stop it. Hillbilly said, I meant no disrespect. No, Hillbilly. When you tell people they're no expert, basically to shut the F up because they're not an expert, I didn't take it. Hillbilly, we go back a long way, you and me. Do you think I care what you say? Seriously. Seriously. No. Seriously. Do you really think I care? You say whatever you want. And I don't care. All right? Isn't that good? That's what I'm saying. Oh, okay. Is that okay? Mr. Mike says, I think it's best not to get caught up in the left-right paradigm. You know, Mr. Mike. By the way, is this guy good or what? Mr. Mike. I think it's not good to be caught in the left-right paradigm. Well, what about the left, right, and center paradigm? Well, that's different. That's a different story. You got this one? Here we go. Alan says, why are Americans, politicians, so gullible when it comes to Israel? I don't know if they're gullible, but there's an incredible, powerful lobby. AIPAC is a huge lobby, and if you don't know that, there's no other country that has it. Any other country that has a lobby, you got to have FARA and all that. Listen, let me tell you something. You can laugh all you want. I respect the hell out of them. They own the Congress. I mean, this is, when you say that, people, they say, oh, come on. I say, well, if you don't own them, then what are you giving them all this money for? They will tell you, you goddamn right we own this. I'm serious. I'm not mad. You think you think the when the gun lobby mattered, when the climate lobby, when big pharma, everybody wants this. This is what America's all about. Everybody's got it. Even Fred Haddad says, my little sister was passive aggressive and used to rat me out at the dinner table, so I'd be punished. He was also 48 years old at the time, which is even weirder. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is something else. And that's something I can't really figure out. Mr. Love the band. You're so right. What was the song they did that was so good? Gloria says, this thing with Signal will last 24 hours and it's gone. Gloria, you're right. Let me put it to you in English. Nobody gives a shit. And what? This is the best part. And what? Listen to what I'm saying. It's one of the best things. All right. You were speeding. And? What do you mean, and? You were speeding. And what? I'm going to give you a ticket. And? Well, that's really all there is. Okay, very good. What are we supposed to do? And Walt says, okay, and I made a mistake. Okay. I like the idea that Hexit. See, I wish they would sit there and say, I don't know. I would be the biggest dick to these people. Pardon my French. If I were Hexit, I don't know what happened. What if it, these machines, I don't know, I push their own button. I put in John, and you know how they fill out the name. What the hell? I'm such a doofus with it. I don't like these. You know what? I like an old flip phone, don't you? That's what I like. I don't like this shit. I butt dial all the time. I hate this. That's it? Well, what do you do? What, resign? You want me to resign? I'm not going to resign. Do you want me to go to prison? Let me tell you something. When Hillary had her, when Hillary had her 38 million files, what did you say about that? You didn't say anything, did you? If I didn't know better, I think you were a hypocrite. I think you were a hypocrite. Gloria said, I heard all the conversation. It was fascinating. It was. Now, my problem is, why are you hitting Yemen? That's what they should be talking about, not the phone call. Today I got a call. My sister writes me, goes, sorry, I butt dialed you. I said, who the hell was I talking to then? She said, what? Relax. Relax. Everything's going to be great. This president's doing great stuff. He's doing wonderful, wonderful stuff. Be more interested about the woman running through, right, Eddie? The woman who's running through the airport. I think that's fascinating. Imagine you're saying, where in the hell am I going? Is this D5? All of a sudden, what is that? Is that a naked lady? This woman's naked. She's butt naked. Holy, she's naked. And you know what else is interesting too? She was kind of like old school. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, reminded me of the 70s. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't think she's been to Brazil. Know what I mean? Are you catching on? I don't want to be too, I'm just saying. Look like the front row of a Willie Nelson concert. You know what I mean? Old school, OG. You get it? Huh? Are you getting what I'm saying here? Her suit? No, hispidulous. Oh, Vava Dog is just full Bush. No, George Bush. It was George Herbert Walker. And then there was George W. Bush. You know what I mean? There's something to be said for that. There's something to be said, I think, for, I don't know where, I don't want to go into this discussion. Seriously, I don't want to go into the discussion. But all I know is, I think God said for you, I want you to be like this, and I don't want you to be like that, and that's it. And everybody else, for some reason, even the biblical folks were talking about, don't shave your beard and all that kind of stuff. Oliver Calamari says, despite the crazy, the carpet matches the drapes. Ladies and gentlemen, collar don't match the cuff. Remember that one? Wait a minute. Hold it. Kimmy says, I'm not picking up what you're laying down. Wait a minute, Kimmy. Hold it. Hold it. That is kind of odd, though, if you think about this. Can you imagine the police? And would you describe the woman? What? Would you describe the woman? Describe her. She's white and sturdy. Anything else? Any distinguishing marks? What do you mean, like any tattoos? No. I'm going to have to pick her out in a lineup? Maybe. I got to pick her up in a lineup? Yeah. Could you make them, you know what I mean? What? I can't. Well, there. Is that her? No, it's not her. How do you know? It just wasn't. It just wasn't. Trust me on that one. No. No. Redhead? No. Sorry. Think Fidel Castro. Think more Raul. Am I getting through? Am I getting through? What the hell's going on here? Linda Knox says, you went into that discussion. And that's exactly what you want to talk about. That is exactly what you want to talk about. Let me tell you something. I think women who do that waxing thing, I'll never forget this. I one time, I like to go to these. I like my only thing is I like manicures, pedicures, things like that. It's the only thing I do. I don't like massages, I don't want any of this stuff, but there's something very nice about having it done professionally. And sometimes you're sitting there, and this is very nice, people to go to. And sometimes they'll say, wax? Yeah, in the back. And this woman will walk right by, and they go into their room, and I'm looking at this woman, I'm thinking, well, looking at those eyebrows, ooh, this may be expensive. Do you see her forearms? Ooh, This is gonna be a pretty penny. You're gonna hear the yow. I will never know. Remember, sometimes men do this too. Remember when Christopher Hitchens had a back crack and sack? Remember that? Ridiculous. I don't understand that. Wax on, wax off. I think that's horrible. Be honest with you. I don't want to go too much. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. But since you brought it up, Kimmy, you brought this up, not me. I don't want to talk about this. Even Eddie Arruda said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not me. No. Most of those, my mom's church lady friends with those unibrows. Oh, yeah, they got those things. I'm telling you. They're, Carolina Guy just says LOL. Isn't that great? She just says, Fred said, I need anesthesia first. Absolutely. CNN was just, CNN was just on about every rally. That's not true. That's good. Why waste money and the pain of waxing? There's Gloria for you. Gloria's natural. So is Kimmy. Kimmy said, the hell with that. What's the point? What am I doing? What's wrong with that? I don't want to look like a child. Johnny Mazes says, what do you think about Trump imposing 25% of tariffs on the import of cars starting April 2nd? He announced it today. What about on waxing? What is he going to do about waxing? Think about that. Think about that. Look at this. Wow. Now listen to what Gracie says. While working, I don't know what this means. I once thought I saw an odd hemorrhoid when rapidly meditating. A patient turned out to be a peanut butter sandwich. So sad. He started to eat it. Mental health. You are wild. That's all I'm going to say to you. You are a mad woman. Truly. I mean, out of your mind. Absolutely out of your mind. But now, on a more serious note, are you feeling buried under credit card bills? Personal loans piling up? Well, you're not alone, and you don't have to face it alone either. Millions of Americans are struggling with debt, and for many, national debt relief has been the trusted solution. With just one call or a few clicks, you can find out if you qualify for a proven program that could reduce what you owe and help you become debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. National Debt Relief works by negotiating directly with your creditors on your behalf. That means lower payments, less stress, and no more collection calls. They've helped over 500,000 people resolve more than $10 billion in debt, and they're ready to help you too. There's no upfront cost, no obligation, and no pressure. Just real support from a team that's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and ranked #1 for debt relief services in America. So if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card or unsecured debt, don't wait. Go to NoDebtWithLionel.com. That's NoDebtWithLionel.com. Take the first step, get your life back, because you deserve peace of mind. What a show tonight. What a show. I can imagine one of you people saying, you got to watch this Uncle Lenny talking about waxing. What's the point? Waxing. Remember in the old days of surgery, they'd shave you and do all this. Like, what are you doing? Remember, I was 13 years old. I had bladder, really serious, very serious. I had a diver taking them in the bladder. Really, I mean, just terrible. And they said, you're going to shave you. Shave me? Who are you? Get out of here. I'm 13 years old. Got to do that. What? They don't even do that anymore. Nobody even does it. It was brutal. Horrible. Vacuum conference says, "What up, Lionel?" Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I think she said while medicating or meditating. She might have been meditating something about a hemorrhoid and a peanut butter sandwich. I have no idea. Gloria says, I care for a dementia lady. So sad, only 2 years older than me, and I have to watch her every move. Ooh, there is something that is a scary thing. There is a scary thing. Years ago, my father, I was such a dick. He said, "Do you think you go? Do you know you're crazy? I'm not crazy. Do you lose your mind all at once?" I said, "Well, I don't know if you lose all at once. Is it gradual, or do you notice it?" I said, "I don't know." So I happened to get somehow. Don't ask me why I had extra Christmas cards. So I would send him Christmas cards in names that were very popular in Tampa. Eddie and Loli Fernandez. It's a West Tampa name. Hernandez Garcia, Joe and Mary Garcia. There's like 10 million Joe Garcia. And I would write to him, different handwriting. "How are you? Hope your knees." And he said, "Joe Garcia? Who the hell is Joe? How did he know about my knees?" I don't know. Oh my God, Joe. I think I went to school with the Joe. Well, why would he? Anyway, got another card. Hobby goes, "Another one." So anyway, so finally I told him, I said, "That was me. I'm just being a dick." He's getting all these cards like, "Who are these? How do you know this? How did they know this about me?" There's something very sad about that. There's something very sad. Darlene says, "Gloria, I'm 70 years old, and it's so sad to be caring for people 5, 10, 50 years older by junior that are in dementia or terrible health. It's awful. Let me tell you something also. You don't know when it's going to get. You don't know when. You don't know anything. I don't care how much you live or what you do. And people say, 'Oh, you have a nice attitude.' Let me tell you something. If your number is up for whatever reason, you get some ischemia or some kind of predisposition, I don't give a goddamn what you do. You cannot smoke or run. Think positive things. Put together puzzles. Do mind games. It ain't going to help. You never know. It's one of those things which is absolutely horrible. Horrible. Love you too, Vic Vacrenhart. What kind of name is that? Seriously. Went from a smile to a frown and a nano. That's you, my friend. That's me all the time. That's where the family steps up or not. I'm sorry. Liz says, "I'm doing a puzzle now." What, you're not paying attention to me? Lizzie Solak, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I like this thumbnail. What year was this? I'm not saying it's not current, but it looks like, like high school or something. I don't know. It's a beautiful picture. Don't get me wrong. I've got a friend of mine, my old friend who's a physician. He says, "You want to die at home." I said, "What are you telling me this?" He goes, "You want to die at home." I said, "Okay, I'll let you know." He said, "I'll take care of it for you." Well, he goes, "Oh, you're going to die at home." Really? He said, "Oh, yeah." "How is it? You're just going to die at home." "Well, what would you do?" He said, "Oh, no. If you have any disease," he goes, No, you're doing it the right way." "What do you do?" He said, "We'll just starve you." What? It's the best way to go. Little mild sedative, some CBD, just a couple of days. That's it. I'm not putting my family through that bullshit. No. You're not going to see me walking around soiling myself. I'm already doing it now. What, with the waxing and everything else? No. Let me go. I'm not in for that drill. This nonsense about, you got to fight. No way. Let me tell you something else. I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be in some stupid cemetery. I don't want a funeral. Might have a party. That's about it. I don't want any of that crap. I hate that. I hate funerals. I hate everything. You should see these people I know. Well, we're all going to be buried together. What do you mean buried together? You're dead. It's your spacesuit. Well, we got a nice mausoleum. A nice what? I'm sorry, you can do whatever you want. I've always thought this was the stupidest goddamn thing I've ever seen. Have you heard about this? Liquimation. This is incredible. Have you heard about this? Johnny Mazes Baz says, "I still have questions about Gene Hackman's death." Well, goddamn it, keep it to yourself. What are you, an expert? Listen, Maz, don't get me started. Have you heard I'm just kidding. I love you. Have you heard about when they do cremation, obviously? This is called liquimation, where they basically put you in this thing and they just blast you with water or boil, whatever it is. They just liquefy you, reduce you to solvents, maybe spread it under a tree or something like that. And then your bones, they grind them up and do whatever you want. I just think that makes the most sense. I'll be damned if I'm going to do that. No way. Another thing, too, is I'm seeing all of these friends of mine who will say, well, it's time for me to retire. Retire? Oh, Jesus. God, retire. What does that mean? I mean, it's okay to go out to the beach, but I want to keep doing this. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to Eddie Arruda. I want Edwin Jones to say, no, Pete, they do. What the hell is he talking to? Who's he talking to? Gloria says, Darlene, I work 3 or 4 hours a day. Her husband would like me there more. I think I help him more than her. I think I help him more than her. Probably. Oh, that's got to be the worst. God almighty. When this is somebody you loved, this is your wife or your husband, and they're walking around, it's got to be horrible. Horrible. That's why maybe who was it? Who was it? Goering did it. Remember that? He had that little cyanide thing there. Maybe you can have one of my tubes that say, you know what? Have somebody say, now, it ain't getting better. Okay. How many of you think you have the right before, if you say, you know what, this is not getting better. I am going to end up just like so-and-so. I may not be terminal, but I want out of here. You see anything wrong with that? You see anything wrong with that? I don't at all. I don't owe anybody. I can leave this movie anytime I want. I don't want to. I think a lot of people shouldn't be able to do that because you might be mentally ill, but I'll be goddamned if I'm going to be sitting around, walking around, just costing money. And I'm just, drooling. No. Of course, you got to know where to get over. And you got to know, you got to have somebody kind of help you. You know what I mean? Somebody said, listen, Uncle Dave, it's happening. What? Yeah. You happening? This thing's getting better. Okay, am I stage 2 yet? When I hit stage 2, let me know. You're past stage 2. What? Oh, you're out of it. You got up and you're talking to yourself. I am? Oh, God. But then again, you want to believe in life. You want to sanctify life. You want to respect life. Life is a beautiful thing. You got to be. But I ain't going to do this. Not me. No. Sometimes when there were people who tragically, like John Kennedy died tragically. He'll always be frozen for us. Kimmy Cliff says, let's go back to waxing. Well, here's Kimmy. Well, she said, doctor? Yes. Hi, my name is Marvin Cliff. My wife, Kimmy? Yes. Listen, she's on this show with this guy, Lenny, and she's talking a lot about waxing lately. Yeah. I think something's wrong with her. She says like she likes it. She's been talking about it a lot. And, I'm kind of worried about her. She talks about dementia one minute and then waxing. Is that all right? She's kind of scared me a little bit. She's talking about waxing. Plus, I think when you get older, you don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? All right, my friends. Has this been fun or what? James Green says, didn't people say money before there were banks? You know what? You're so wise. So wise. Joe Lacey says, waxing? Joe's a little late. Joe, that's Joe for you. Joe Lacey, you know how he is. Joe walks himself and says, turquoise, that's Joe. He just kind of on the end. You know what I mean? Finding Dory says fun. Doesn't Finding Dory sound like a nickname for something else? Just saying. Edie Crowley says, the waxing moon is a great time to make a wish. Oh, Or make a wish when you're waxing. Like maybe that would be over with. You know what I mean? Some kind of a thing like that. Who was it? Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Remember the hair on him? The waxing of him must have been horrific. Vito, by the way, says, I came from an older school Italian family. Back when my granddad died, it was a 3-day wake, 8 hours a day, sitting in the funeral parlor in Queens. Oof. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. That's no. I never, ever put any stock in the final process of death. To me, it's natural. It's the cessation of life. But what I want to remember about these people is what I take with me. Not sitting in a room and, oh my God. One time I saw somebody like with a casket with a big thing of the Yankees. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? He's dead. Glasses are the ones that got me. When I was a kid, he's got glasses on. Uncle Joe's got glasses on. I know, but he's dead. But he had them when he was alive. He used to breathe when he was alive. He didn't wear his glasses to bed. And that freaked me out. In any event, my friends, wasn't this fun? All this fun about waxing, Alzheimer's, Vito, Johnny Maz, Oliver Calamari, Brad Rung, Lou Maldonado, Pilgrim Media, Raul Rodriguez, and Thomas Almy. What a night. Huh? What a night. You think Styx does this? I don't think so. Good man, Styx Exohammer. Good man. He's a damn good man, okay? What a man. What a man. What a hell of a man. Here's Finding Dory, by the way. Get it? Dory, tell us about yourself. Linda Knox says the old people places cost $5,000 to $6,000 a month. Screw that. Not me. No. Cut Up Chatter says, make sure someone knows where you're buried your Hessian gold just in case. You know, it's funny. Do you know that on caskets, there's a little tube in the front where they write your name and who you were and all that stuff? How about this? You can go to a casket, have a QR code or on your gravestone, you can hit it and somebody says, hi, how are you? I just think, I'm dead right now. And if you're one of the following people, I'm going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Yep, here I am. I wrote this while I was lucid, but I'm not here anymore. But here's some of my best stuff ever. I put a YouTube. This is where I talked about waxing dead people and the signal case. It's incredible. It's what I did when I was alive. Non sequiturs were my names. These are all my families. I just want to have a big ceremony, a big goodbye for Uncle Lenny. I don't want you all to cry. Oh, I want you to cry. I want to get a moirologist. That's a professional mourner. Somebody used to actually, a professional crier. That's what I want you to do. Understand this? All right, my friends. Listen, you have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Please also follow my other channel, that Lionel Legal channel. And also make sure that you are subscribed here. I got some great stuff. I got to check out the Anthony Cumia interview. It's fantastic. I got one on Maxine. I got one up right now on the nude thing. And then later on a great one on, on geoengineering. It's fantastic. Kimmy Cliff, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Thank you, Kimmy. Have a great and glorious night. Carolina Guy, you too. Claudie, don't ever change. Joe Lacey, Was Waxing Museum is where the rear wax is. Joe, we don't know what the hell you're talking about, my friend. We think you're out of your tree, but you know what? We love you, my friend. We love you, but you are, as we say in West Tampa, arrebadao, okay? All right, my friends. Have a great day. See you in the morning. Don't ever forget. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. Show's over. So you.